grill that was not turned on and had cheese on them, but it's not very good. He got absolutely dunked on by the FCC commissioner of all people. We'll get into that coming up in a little bit. Later, we'll talk about the Royals survey that's going out to their season ticket holders and fans. I think I know. I think Pete mentioned this earlier. Actually, I think we pretty much agree there's a little nuance to it, but we think we know exactly what this means, that the Royals are doing this. As annoying as it is that they've sent it out, we think we know what's going on. And is Michael Jordan playing for the Kansas Jayhawks this year? Oh, we're going there with Mark Van Sickle later in the show. Holy smokes. Do they have a basketball player you want to buy a ticket for and go see play in person? Because he's going to be gone. He will be gone. He'll play at Allen Fieldhouse in March, and that'll be it. He'll never be anywhere near here. You'll have to go to Oklahoma City to see him. But we start with it's election day, and it's not the biggest election day of our lives. It's really, in many ways, something that even listeners of this radio station or my podcast or whatever, and I mentioned this there too, will slough off and say, you know what, I don't even know what's on the ballot. There's nothing there. It doesn't matter. Maybe my ward of city council has somebody running. Maybe it doesn't. Oh, there's a couple of, school board seats available or water district commissioners or things like that. And you may not be motivated to vote today. You absolutely have the right to complain the rest of your life about things going on in your community, whether you vote or not. That's called free speech. But it would mean a lot more if you took the time to go to your county's website today. Wherever you live, your county has a GOP website of some sort, and it will have a cheat sheet for you. If you have an iPhone, you can call it up on your phone, walk right in there and vote with it. Most of these things that we're voting on today do not say Republican or Democrat, which I believe should be enacted into law in both Kansas and Missouri. I will scream from the mountaintop. Anybody at any state level listening, let's get this passed in Topeka and Jeff City. Every single person that runs for an office must declare a political party or independent. It would wildly benefit Republicans, and I think all the Democrats know that. So why this doesn't get enacted, I don't know. But people go, they're confused, they don't know who to vote for, but guess who's not confused? All these liberal white women are going to the polls today, folks. They're turning out. You want to pick one demographic in Kansas City that is dead sure to go vote for school board members, council members, mayors. It's going to be the liberal white women. They are organized. They are together. They know exactly who to vote for, and they are taking over all of your local municipalities. The only way to fight this is to go vote. You can look it up on your GOP website at your county. That's it. I always say this about voting. The number one reason we are all here in the United States of America is people in England got sick and tired of a monarchy, a king, a royal family. They'd had enough. It's over. We want to be able to vote our own representatives in to represent our interests in the country we live in. People have died for this. People tried to come over for this and died on the way. The least we can do is show up and vote for a city council member. I'm voting after lunch with my mom today. So there you have it. That's going to be a good one. Okay, on to this filibuster story and Donald Trump. It's going to pick up momentum, and I'll tell you why. Trump is a force of nature. The Republican Party is largely, not completely, but largely following him in lockstep, and that is a good thing. A political party needs a sound leader, somebody that is tough, strong, admired, a person that many Americans that don't like him actually like him for the job he's doing because he's tough. He's tough on things that matter to them, like crime, or maybe the border. Maybe you're a liberal, you're a Democrat, you love abortion, you're LGBTQ community or something, and that's just your identity, and that's everything for you, and this is the Democrats are your party. But you look at Trump and go, you know what? I'm kind of scared as a queer. I'd like some safe streets. I don't want to be attacked by some wacko. I kind of like some of the things he does. So Trump is that guy. And I said on yesterday's show, there's a little bit in me, I like to question everything. But I'm finding the farther and farther I go with Trump, the less I question what he's doing. And I don't like the idea of dumping the filibuster, but only because I'm afraid of the Democrats. Trump is saying, let's be Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. There's 13 seconds left. Let's go score. Let's go dunk on these people. Let's get rid of it now and for the next 3 years, pass everything we can possibly pass. Because guess what? When they get power, and they will, it's gone anyway. They're going to get rid of it, so let's do it first. Here's the post he put on, and I'm just going to read this to you so you can decide for yourself if this makes sense to you. He posts, the Democrats are far more likely to win the midterms and the next presidential election if we don't do the termination of the filibuster. Because it will be impossible for Republicans to get common sense policies done with these crazed Democrat lunatics being able to block everything by withholding their votes for 3 years. Nothing will be passed and Republicans will be blamed. Elections, including the midterms, will be rightfully brutal. If we do terminate the filibuster, we will get everything approved, like no Congress in history. We will have fair, free, and safe elections. We'll have no men in women's sports or transgender for everybody. We'll have strong borders, major tax and energy cuts, and we'll secure our Second Amendment, which the Democrats will also terminate immediately. If we don't do it, they are far more likely to do well in the upcoming elections, which would mean a packed Supreme Court, 2 more states, 4 more Democrat senators in D.C. and Puerto Rico, and 8 more electoral votes. Remember, Republicans, they're going to end the filibuster as soon as they get the chance. We know this because they already tried, and the only 2 people that did not go along with it are now out of office. That's the key to his argument. We know this because they already tried, and the only 2 people who didn't go along with it are now out of office. But the Democrats have much less chance of winning if we have great policy wins after win after win after win. In fact, they will lose big and for a very long time. Terminate the filibuster now, end the ridiculous shutdown immediately, and then most importantly, pass every wonderful Republican policy that we've ever dreamt of for years but have never gotten. We will be the party that cannot be beaten, the smart party. Trump is saying, give me a chance for 3 years to pass all these common sense things that are 80-20 items, and Americans will go, we're with them. We'll vote with them. That's his argument. Now, that's a really hard argument to refute. For some reason, I still don't like the idea of getting rid of the filibuster because I'm scared of the Democrats. There's only one question to ask. This is the only question. It's not, should we get rid of the filibuster or not? Ask yourself this question. Do you think the next time the Democrats are in control, they will get rid of it? I think they will. If you think they will, then we should end it right now. He's right. That's the only question you have to answer. Do you think that somebody's going to be hanging around common sense in the Democrat Party going, no, that's not the right thing to do. Let's not do that. Or do you think they're moving farther and farther and crazier left and younger generations coming along, even though Nancy Pelosi's about as unhinged as ever? She's got commentary out there this week in an interview. She said Trump is just a vile creature. He's the worst thing on the face of the earth. The reporter said, worst thing on earth? Yeah, I think that, Pelosi said. Because he's the president of the United States, he does not honor the Constitution. He's turned the Supreme Court into a rogue court. He's abolished the House of Representatives, and he's chilled the press. That's the one that's really got him. He's mellowing out the media. But she's the old guard, and she'll be gone. The young guard are people like this woman in Montana. If you haven't heard this story, it is shocking. Her name is Haley McKnight. She's running for city commission in Helena. She won the 20 Under 40 award in Helena, Montana, as one of the brightest young business people in her community. She's the president of the Helena Young Professionals, and she's a dyed-in-the-wool liberal. She's the next generation coming up in Montana, which is deep red. On July 1st, after Senator Tim Sheehy voted for the Big Beautiful Bill, she left him a voicemail. It's out there online. I'd play it for you, but it's got too many profanities in it. I can't. She said, hi, this is Haley McKnight. I'm a constituent in Helena, Montana. I just want to let you know you're the most insufferable kind of coward and thief. You just stripped away health care for 17 million Americans. I hope you're really proud of that. I hope one day you get pancreatic cancer and it spreads throughout your body so fast they can't even treat you for it. I hope you die in the street like a dog. I hope you're infertile, or if you have children that they never forgive you. I hope you never get an erection again. You're the worst piece of SH blank blank I've ever seen. F you, I hope you die. And she hangs up. She's on the ballot today in Helena, Montana for city commission. She's honored as one of the 20 under 40 awards. She's like 25 years old, 27 years old. You know who she is. They're all voting in Prairie Village today. All of her quadruplet sisters are all out there voting for their city council. They're going to get it exactly like they like it. They're on the move. They will get rid of the filibuster. This is the next generation. Trump makes an excellent point. I think the filibuster simply comes down to the question, do you think the Democrats will get rid of it when they're in charge? And if the answer is yes, then Trump is right about everything. It's time to get rid of it. 913-408-7957. We'll take your phone calls next. This is Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio.
From Gladstone to Gardner, it's Kevin Kietzman, Uncanceled, on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
Oh, my. Looks like we've touched a nerve here today. We got a full board of calls. Everybody wants to chime in on this one, so let's get after it. Here is Steve in the Northland. Welcome to Uncanceled, Steve. Glad to have you with us. How are you, my friend?
Kevin, you're the best host they've got on this station.
Oh, stop.
Yes, you are. Hey, but let me ask you something. Were you thinking this before Trump said it? Because I've been thinking it for the last however long they've been talking about it. You know, these people play dirty. They steal votes. They have dead voters. They have, they bring illegals into the country to vote. Blocking the filibuster, that's nothing for them. That's playing soft in their terms.
Well, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely, we should do it.
And I can't think of anything more important than fixing the elections. Like we've got to we have to have voter ID. You just have to have ID. We have to do this nationally, at least for the national elections. If you can't do it on the local level, whatever, but at least for our national elections, we have to have this. And that prevents them at that. Now, I don't know, maybe they get power and they can get rid of the law and write their own new law at some point. I mean, there's a lot of politics to be had down there. But, yes, I believe the Democrats will get rid of it, and that's the most compelling case for us to get rid of it.
Okay, I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. It's really the only question I ask. And, yes, I've been thinking about it for a week since Trump brought it up. And I've never wanted to do this. But he's right. They're going to do it before the president's hands on the Bible, the next Democrat that wins. They'll have the thing ready to go at noon on, January, whatever swearing-in day is, without a doubt. Here's Travis in Lenexa. Hi, Travis. How are you? Travis, you there? He's there. I hear him. Travis, can you hear me? Oh, I'm sorry. Isaac, go ahead. I got it wrong.
Hello.
Isaac in Ottawa. Sorry, buddy.
Hi, Kevin. Hey, your previous caller, Steve, basically said what I was going to say. The Democrats will get rid of the filibuster if they get the opportunity. I mean, there's no question in my mind about that. And what Trump is saying, I kind of agree with, but I kind of disagree with. It's scary to think the filibuster's gone. But on the other hand, if we get rid of the filibuster now and pass laws, for instance, a proof of citizenship, a proof of residence within the state in order to do voting, then we're going to eliminate a ton of fraudulent voting. And if we do that, then it's a possibility that we're going to win the midterm, we're going to win the next election, we're going to win the next election, so on and so on and so on. And we'll put actually validity and honesty back where it belongs, in the hands of the people.
Well, I agree.
Anyway, that's what I got.
Okay, great call. And I think the most important element here for me is the voter ID. And for the life of me, this is 2025. This is a joke. We should have a national voter ID card that today I could take to the poll. I have in my wallet, I have a driver's license and I have a passport card. Now, the passport card that I have is not like a real passport. I think you can maybe get into Mexico and Canada with it and maybe get on a cruise ship, but I can't fly to Italy with it. I need a real passport. So a passport card is pretty cool. I just like it as another form of ID. You can get them at Costco. They're cheap. And so I enjoy having that. For the life of me, when I was a kid, my mom, when you're born, they gave you a Social Security card. It was a little piece of paper. She kept it in a lockbox. She gave it to me when I got my first job when I was like 13 at Wadji's or whatever. And I remember having that. I don't have it anymore, but you get asked everywhere for your Social Security number. Why don't we have a photo ID with our Social Security number that's our voter card? And if you can't, they're going to say, oh, well, what if you can't go to the polls? Great. We'll let you vote at home with facial recognition. Your iPhone does it. Everything does facial recognition. This isn't hard. You can't get on an airplane without facial recognition. This is not hard, folks. If you're born here and you're a citizen, you have a Social Security number, you should have a voter ID card. That's it. You want to vote, be part of the process, here it is. No more rigging. That's it. There's nothing else you can do. No more rigging. No more rigging. And the vote by mail's got to go. You can vote from home. We'll have a website. We'll allow you to vote from home with facial recognition. You turn your computer on. They scan your face. You can put your votes in. Great. Knock yourself out. I mean, that sort of makes sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to you or not. Travis is on Uncanceled. Hi, Travis. Good morning.
Yeah. Hey, good morning, Kevin. I want to take your opening comments about local elections and people voting. If you are in Johnson County and you are a quote unquote Republican and you are not voting today, as far as I'm concerned, you're just voting right alongside those liberal lunatic locals. Okay. And you mentioned a few voter guides. I've got another one that feel free, everyone, to go to it. It's takebackjoco.com. So it's takebackjoco.com, and it'll have every one of your Johnson County elections with recommendations that come from people, the grassroots individuals that are in the fight.
That's awesome stuff, man. Thank you, Travis. I appreciate it. I'm 100% with you. All right, we got John in Lewisburg. Hi, John. What's up today?
Hey, Kevin. My concern isn't about the filibuster being ended, about the Democrats. It's what the Republicans won't do when they end that filibuster. I don't think the leadership is there to ram things through. That's my biggest concern.
Well, you only need 50 votes because JD can break them all.
But if the Republicans, you can't even keep these Republicans together. I don't see our Republican Congress doing anything.
All right, so what do we have? Thomas Massey and a couple guys in the House that are against opening the government, and that's about it? They're pretty together on this one.
Yeah, but ending the filibuster, my concern is the Republicans won't do anything with the filibuster gone.
All right, well, I appreciate that. I understand the concern. I don't share that concern. I think they'd all be on board with secure elections. I think that would be very easy for the Republicans to pass. When we come back, Chuck Schumer is bad at social media.
Hey, it's Vince Gallane's Catch My News show at 11 o'clock after Kevin Kietzman on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
Welcome back to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio. The Vince Show is coming your way in about 30 minutes. He posts a lot of his segments on X and other social media platforms when they're over. He's got a nice setup, a nice studio. And I noticed yesterday for the first time, the show sounds better. Remember, it was a little echoey. It was more of a TV show to begin with, or a podcast with kind of an echoey TV studio kind of sound to it. It sounded great yesterday, so I'm sure you are enjoying that. The Vince Show. He had some great stuff with John Brennan yesterday. That tape of Brennan going after that other intelligence officer and poking him in the chest. You know Brennan is hot under the collar over that. But a lot of people are hot under the collar. One of my favorites is Chuck Schumer, who is disgusted by the 60 Minutes interview that Donald Trump did on Sunday with Norah O'Donnell of CBS News. And he went to social media proving once again he's a complete buffoon at this, or his people are, and said, I think I'll file a complaint for selective editing of the Trump interview using the same language as Trump did versus Kamala Harris. Well, first of all, he's bringing up a positive for Trump. Trump was selectively edited, or Kamala Harris was, to benefit her. Trump won a lawsuit, not in court, but it was settled. $19 million, I think he got from CBS News for them scamming him on 60 Minutes. So first of all, Schumer's bringing up a Trump victory and saying, I think I'll do this. Because of what? What's your claim in the interview that CBS did wrong? Immediately, the chairman of the FCC, Brendan Carr, fires back on social media and says, Senator Schumer, due to the Schumer shutdown, even your frivolous filing could not be processed by the FCC at this time. He's threatening to file with the FCC, and the FCC is closed. What an idiot. Do these people not even think? He got that wrong twice. He's basically patting Trump on the back by posting it that Trump won a lawsuit, saying, I'm going to do the same thing now. Well, no, you're not. You can't even file the claim with the FCC yet because the FCC is closed because of your shutdown. These people are unbelievable, man. I mean, unbelievable. Former Vice President Dick Cheney has passed at the age of 84. He was, of course, vice president on 9/11, the Iraq War, the Afghan War. He loved America. He was a great patriot. He was a smart man. And he was mired in a bunch of things that the deep state in Washington has been mired in for a long, long, long time, at least since the Vietnam War, probably since before then. But they call them neocons. I don't want to get into all the definitions of what a neocon is or whatever, but maybe that's what Dick Cheney was. I think we should remember him fondly. He was loyal to his party. And for me, he's a reminder of what we were forced to vote for. We were forced to and convinced by them that it was the right thing to do to vote for a war party. The party of war now is clearly the Democrats. In my lifetime, I think Dick Cheney is the second most hated Republican by Democrats I can ever remember. They hated him only second to Donald Trump. They didn't hate him. They hated him more than W. They hated him more than Reagan. They hated Dick Cheney. They thought he was getting rich off the war. He had the Halliburton stock and all those things. They hated him. He died one of them. They moved. The Democrats moved their party to become the party of war. And I promise over the next 24 to 48 hours, you will see Democrats giving tribute to Dick Cheney like they did John McCain when John McCain died. He was one of the last great Republicans. I can almost write these things for them because now they're the party of war. They want to fight conflicts all over the globe. They like being involved in these things. It's really weird, man. Politics is a moving target. All I know is Dick Cheney to me is a reminder of people that I was forced to vote for. Did I do it gleefully and happily? Yes, I did. I thought I was doing the right thing. Bush, Cheney, great. What's my option? Al Gore? Mr. Climate Change, not much of an option there. But Donald Trump has shown us that if you merge enough conservatism with enough populism, you get the perfect party. He's anti-war. He's pro-USA. He's all safety, security, closed borders. Use strength to make sure you're not putting boots on the ground anywhere. The last thing Donald Trump ever wants to do is send a soldier in anywhere. You don't want to do it. They keep talking about this Nigeria stuff. What would it be? Airstrikes against the Boko Haram or whatever they're called in Nigeria that are killing all the Christians? I don't know how they do that. I don't know what that looks like. I know this. Nobody around the world is afraid that Donald Trump is sending soldiers in because he's not going to do it. But he will obliterate you from the air and the sky and drones and technology and whatever means necessary. And they know that. And maybe that's the difference. Maybe Cheney was just old school. But boy, they sure like to go fight wars in the desert, man. They sure like to go do that. And yeah, hindsight's 20/20. I'm not going to bash them for being wrong. We pretty much, most Republicans at the time thought, okay, they're doing the right thing. We're getting vengeance for 9/11. We're getting justice here. We all thought that. So I'm not going to badmouth them for being wrong. That's not my issue with Dick Cheney. The issue was we can just solve this by sending troops in. We sort of had that going for 30 or 40 years in America, and we're in a better place now. We're just in a better place. And it took Donald Trump to show us there's a lot of things that we believe in that are right as Republicans, but if we just have a better party and think about what's really morally correct, like not sending our soldiers to war, okay, there are other ways to handle this. How's Trump getting peace globally? You know how he's working toward peace? As a businessman. He's doing business deals with every country on earth. If you have a business arrangement with another country, you're not going to war with them. He's offered it to Iran. He's like, hey, I had to take your nukes out. Sorry about that. Sorry about the nukes. Had to do it. Had to do it. Now, you guys want to come to the table? Let's get a giant economic deal together where you flourish, your people get richer that live there, we flourish. Let's do this. Let's have a partnership. He doesn't care what your religion is. He doesn't care. He wants you to have your borders and your traditions and your history. That's populism. That's what's been missing from the Republican Party. The Dick Cheneys of the world were always wanting to go out there and conquer somebody else's country and turn them into an offshoot of the U.S. I don't care if Iran is ever a democracy. It's not my fight. Let's make peace with them. Let's make business with them. That's what Trump's doing. Let's make business. It's pretty cool. Steven's in KC on KCMO Radio. Hi, Steven. How are you?
Hey, Kev. I think you did a great obituary of Cheney there. I completely agree. What I love about Trump is he's sort of like Teddy Roosevelt, is that he'll deal with you until he's forced to use the stick and just pound you into submission. Ask Maduro about that with the USS Iwo Jima staring him right down the face. I would love to end the filibuster, but we would be opening a Pandora's box of restoring Roe v. Wade and expanding the Supreme Court, Puerto Rico statehood. I mean,
agreed.
I would love to do it. I think that Trump is right as usual, but the long-term effects would be we wouldn't know for sure.
In 2028, if Gavin Newsom or Josh Shapiro becomes president and they have the Senate and the House, do you think they'll repeal the filibuster?
Well, here's
no, Stephen, don't be taking up. You're wasting other callers' time. That's a yes or no question. It's a yes or no question. Stephen.
Yes,
Thank you.
He would. But if we play our cards right, listen. Okay, this guy Mamdani is in the center of the financial and media world.
I'm sorry, you're veering off on.
We've been handed. You will care because we've been handed a new Corvette on Christmas. With this guy.
Okay.
If he messes this thing up and we put the spotlight on this guy, they can't win.
Okay, I'm with you. I hear you. If 1 million people, we were just talking about this during the break, there's a report that 1 million people are going to leave New York if Mamdani wins. I really don't care about this. I guess he does. I don't care. If you're telling me 1 million people are going to leave New York because he wins, I want him to win. Do it. That's 1 million Republicans leaving New York. They'll lose seats everywhere. They're going to go to red states. Population increases. You'll gain seats there. This is the shifting of the population. It occurs to me, and I was wrong about this. 10 years ago, I was thinking about it. I'm like, wow, all these blue states that are going to hell, People are going to leave, and Democrats are going to come rolling into Kansas and Missouri, and we're going to be in trouble. That's not what's happening. What we're finding out is those people don't have the ability to move and relocate in large numbers like Republicans. Republicans are saying, we're not taking this anymore. We're going to consolidate. We're going to move the population shift to the red states. It's pretty cool. I had no idea that was even possible. But if you're telling me 1 million people are leaving New York, that's 90% Republicans. We'll take that. Get them out of there. Let's go. Here's Wes in Gladstone. Hi, Wes.
Sorry about taking out your nukes, but let's do business. That's why the swamp hates Trump.
Right.
Man. I mean,
Right.
That is classic. And as far as the Dick Cheney thing goes, if Trump had never been elected, they'd be calling him Hitler now, and they'd be talking about how horrible of a person Dick Cheney was. That's how intertwined the swamp and the mainstream media is, man. Perfect example of that. And as far as the filibuster, end it and pass the laws we sent you there to pass, period.
Excellent call. As always, you're the best, buddy. Great job, Wes and Gladstone, always with something for the show. Here is Mark and Lenexa on KCMO. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Kevin, how are you today?
Great, buddy.
Hey, I get tired of all this Mandami and all the swamp and all that, but you mentioned something that really made me reminisce. Wadgy burgers.
Oh, the best.
Oh, growing up in that area, there, Mission Bowl, Ventures, Skaggs. I was just thinking about when you said that, and what a great, great area. We'd go to Cedar Row Library and try to meet the girls. What a great time growing up there.
And Roble was right there, too, in a place called Venture, which was before Walmart. Here's what's weird about Wadgy Burgers in Roland Park. I must have flipped 5,000 of them, and then I ran the cash register, and I had the mop bucket. I worked there quite a while. The Wadgy Burger was famous for something called a British burger. And I asked the owner, Dorothy Failer, how in the world did you name this a British burger? And she goes, well, I don't know. It's just a British burger. I said it has American cheese and Canadian bacon. And it was called a British burger. I was like, what? I didn't even understand. But people loved it. They loved the British burger.
Yeah, that was a great place. That was a great place, and that whole area back then. We'd walk over there and walk down to the pool, and it was just a great place to grow up.
Good stuff, buddy. Thank you for reminiscing with me. Awesome times. I rode my bike there, Mark, until I got what was called a moped.
Oh, yeah.
A moped is different than the scooters today. The moped was you had to pedal to start it. You couldn't get the gas part. It was gas.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't start. It was like pulling a lawnmower cord.
Yeah.
You had to start by pedaling this thing. If it ran out of gas, it became a bicycle.
Yep.
You're aware, huh?
There's newer ones coming out.
Really?
They look like bicycles, but they're also a little bit electric.
Well, why not just have an electric bike?
Exactly.
That's
It's a
great.
mix. It's
That's
very
what we
strange.
rode through Zion was electric bikes.
Okay.
This past summer, it was just fantastic.
Nice.
Those things are great. I need to get a couple for here. They're electric bikes are now that's progress. Elon Musk, thank you for all the EVs because those electric bikes are really, really cool. All right, Uncanceled continues. We come back. We're checking in with Mark. He's got his KU hat on. Do the Kansas Jayhawks have the next Michael Jordan on their team? That's next.
From Leawood to Liberty, it's Kevin Kietzman. Uncanceled on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
So let's start with this. You're wrong a lot when you do what I've done in my radio career. I have always tried to be, when I'm going to have a take or some sort of prediction or something like that, I want to be the first. I want you to hear it here first, okay? Okay, he's saying this, and boy, when you want to be the first guy, you can be wrong a lot. Trust me, okay? I've whiffed a bunch of times. But I've been hearing about this Darren Peterson at the University of Kansas, and he had 21 points last night. He scored 18 in the first half and barely played in the second half. And I'm watching him play, then I go back and look at the highlights, and I'm like, whoa, he just glides. It's so easy for him. He was the number one recruit in the country. Bill Self has said it's the best player he's ever had come to Kansas, and he's currently projected as the number one pick in the NBA draft in June. These are all facts. That meant nothing to me. I watched him in a preseason exhibition game, and then he got cramps, and you couldn't really tell. And then he came out last night, and I'm watching that first half, and I'm like, oh, my God, he's got to change his number. He's number 22. He needs to be number 23. To me, he plays and looks just like Michael Jordan. That doesn't mean he's Michael Jordan, but I think he's got a chance to be the player of the year in the Big 12 and maybe the player of the year nationally. What say you, Mark?
Yeah, player of the year in the Big 12 might be the national player of the year because there's so many good players. But, yeah, I mean, calling him Michael Jordan, not calling him Michael Jordan, but saying he looks like Michael Jordan.
Comparing the comp. When I watch him play, that's who I see.
I could see that. I could see that. Doug Gottlieb, who coached against him last night, said he reminded him of Kobe. And he's never said that about another player.
What was Kobe's number?
I believe he was 8 and 24.
8 and 24. Yeah, that sounds right. I'm telling you, man, that it's the jump shot that got me, and he did a little fadeaway thing. There were a couple of things. A lot of guys can go to the basket and kind of look like Jordan. You know, dunking the ball, they all kind of – it's his shot. It's the way he moves. I couldn't believe it, man. I just can't believe it. He looks just like him.
Hitting threes with ease.
Ease.
Too. It's crazy.
I mean, would you say that the proper word is that he glides on the floor?
Yeah.
And Jordan was like that.
Stealing the ball.
Jordan never looked like he was running hard, but was always beating the other guy.
Yep.
He never looked like he moved, quickly off a dribble, but got around his guy.
Yeah.
It just looked effortless and easy. Some athletes are like that.
Yep.
Mahomes has some of that.
Mm-hmm.
We see guys, they'll try to comp and say, what quarterback do you look like? Well, the guy at Nebraska who's now hurt, Raiola, he clearly has modeled his game after Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's not Patrick Mahomes, but you can see it.
Yep.
There is no question that's what Darren Peterson's been trying to do.
So.
In my mind. I'm telling you, this is a player. There are 5 freshmen this year. They're calling this the best freshman class in the history of college basketball. They should all be in the NBA. Let's be real about this. The one-and-done rule is dumb. They all belong in the NBA, but that's great if you have one. 3 of the 5 are in the Big 12. One's at BYU. His name's A.J. DeBanza. And then Koa Pete, is that his name, at Arizona?
Yeah.
Had 30 points last night.
Yeah, crazy.
In his first game as a freshman. And that was against Florida, who was ranked number 3 in the country. It's going to be a crazy college basketball season. I have a correction, from yesterday. Do you know my correction?
I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Will Smith, 6 straight World Series.
The pitcher, Will Smith.
There's 2 different Will Smiths.
Yeah.
It's true.
I thought about that after,
Will Smith has won 6 in a row. When I saw the thing pop up on Twitter, I didn't recognize that the faces were 2 different guys. It was a joke of a tweet, and it was CBS Sports, so I bought into it. 2 different Will Smiths have won the last 6 World Series. The Vince Show is coming up next.